Welcome back to the Vinyl Word Podcast. As always, I'm Steve Beach.
And I'm Brian Mayer. Hello.
This is 2024, Season 3, Brian.
The future!
Yeah, try not to yell.
Okay.
We are at our Greenwood Public Library, as always, as they have, as always, to put up with us whenever we come in here to record. Hopefully we don't make too much noise.
As long as we're tax-paying citizens, they have to. This
I
is
know.
the beauty of our system.
This is so true. Hey, just want to remind everybody to subscribe and sign up for alerts. As we've always said, Brian and I do not get paid for this, so we do not do this for a living. So we just put out episodes when we can. And also, you can contact us through our email, that is vinylword22@gmail.com. And as we talked a little bit about last year, we're going to start announcing some cities that download our podcast. And if you respond to us, we'll send you some cool gear. So if you live in or around Grays Lake, Illinois, send us an email to vinylword22@gmail.com, and we'll send you some cool Vinyl Word stuff.
Yeah, you'll get some sweet, sweet Vinyl Word swag, and you can confuse all your friends.
Right, yes. Also, we have a new friend for this year, Brian.
A new friend?
Yes, he's going to join us on every podcast. His name is Charlie Cutler.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, you want to talk just a little bit about him?
Yeah. Charlie Cutler was a man who recorded, what would I would like radio vignettes.
Yes.
He, they're just like little snippets of the past that brings up modern folksy wisdom.
Right.
This guy makes me think so much of the Smuckers commercials.
Oh, yes.
With a name like Smuckers, it has to be good.
It has to be good. Right.
He just has that kind of voice. When I hear him and he's like, it seems to me.
Right. Yep.
You know, just a poor man's Walter Cronkite.
Yep.
Like just hucking,
Yeah.
jelly from his
Yes.
rocking chair while
Yep.
he is lamenting the fact that youth is destroying the world.
Right. So he's going to join us at the beginning of every podcast. So let's give a listen.
It seems to me that... Oh, hello, this is Charlie Cutler.
Oh, hi, Charlie.
Let's just talk for a couple of minutes.
Sure.
It seems to me that everybody's...
Bored now.
Nowadays.
Give him a second, Brian.
Didn't used to be that way, though.
Yeah.
I can remember my grandfather telling me about the days when he and Grandma farmed it. as
Oh,
he
I'm
said.
glad he said farmed.
Back then, Grandpa and Grandma had to do everything. Grandpa dug his own well, made his own furniture, butchered his own beef, built his own house, made his own
Jimmy
candles,
made his own weed.
even cut
Cobbled his own
children's hair.
shoes.
And I'm afraid it looked it too. And at the same time, Grandma was just as busy, or even busier.
Let's not get into
sheared
that.
The sheep,
Right.
took the wool and spun it and wove it into cloth and made all the clothes.
She had to
Grandma had
manually
lots more
breed
to
the
do
sheep.
besides
It was
that.
filthy work.
She churned the butter, baked the bread, chopped the wood for the fire. And that wasn't even counting all the
While
other
Dad
cooking
just
and
sat
keeping
in the
house
chair all day.
cleaned up at the same time.
Just reading a
It'd
stone
take at least
tablet that was
15 or
delivered.
20 specialists to do the things Grandpa and Grandma did, all by themselves.
Yeah.
Times have
And yet they
changed.
have more money,
Look
more
at old
time,
Doc Henshaw.
Right.
more fulfilling free time
He
in
used to have a
life.
shingle out in front of his place, and it said eye, ear, nose, and throat. Now Doc's only doing the nose. Same thing is true with baseball players. In our
Okay.
town, we had 17 men, and any one of them
I wonder
could
if
play
that's where
any
Digital
position,
Underground
and
went.
that's what made him so
Right.
hard to beat. Nowadays, a man makes a whole career out of playing third base.
With the
Seems to me we
1990s
all
rock
get
band
misled
or
by this
rap band from
specialist
Brooklyn?
stuff.
Yes.
Why?
Third base.
All right.
And
Well, I
that's
guess he's going to get
something
wrecked
worth
for being a
considering,
derelict
isn't it?
dialect.
Yeah, so I thought in choosing a record for our first one for 2024, Brian,
Yeah.
usually, it's a new year. People like to get motivated, either lose weight or they're going to change their lives or they're going to do something better.
New Year's resolutions. Yes, Steve.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. That's a long way around. But yes,
Yep.
New Year's resolutions. So Brian and I found this record by a guy by the name of Glenn Turner. It's called Glenn Turner Speaks Out. You can better your best. And that sentence makes no sense.
Right. And it's also it's important to mention here that there's a W in there. Glenn W.
Oh,
Turner,
yes, Glenn W. Turner.
Because there is a Glenn Turner, the actor. This is not that Glenn Turner. This Glenn Turner was a motivational speaker who was born, according to the back of the record, in the most abject poverty in the backwoods of Alabama. And he built himself up through grit, determination, and hard work into a multi-million-dollar empire.
Yep.
And it was only later that we learned that
Yeah.
maybe it wasn't all grit and determination.
No, it wasn't. We'll talk more about that later.
Maybe it was grift.
Yes. All right.
All right. Well, Steve, are you ready?
I'm ready to get motivated.
All right. Well, let's drop the needle and get going.
Folks, this is the man.
Finally.
It's a rare privilege.
It's so confusing
Everyone
these
can
days.
hear. Everyone can see him. It's a pity, too.
You can
Not
see
only
it.
a rare privilege to hear him and see him, but it's also disappointing that everybody is not allowed to listen, to hear, and see this dynamic individual.
And to touch,
This room
and to
right here that
feel,
you're
to
sitting in
caress
today
his
has been
beautiful,
dedicated to
childlike
him.
face.
This is a man here that just a few years ago, approximately 3 years ago, scratched a few marks in the sand.
And then a cat scratched him.
And then Ted
And said,
Nugent
"This
wrote
is
a
my
song
idea."
about it.
And people
Cat
around
scratch
his hometown
Peter.
laughed at him and considered it a big joke. And
It
he
was
stood over
hilarious.
This vast empire the other day in one of his buildings. And he
It was
said,
more like
3
a
years
shed.
ago, people
Yeah, but
said
it was
this
still
was a
there.
joke. People laughed at it because it did appear to be a joke. And now you set
They
forth your
laughed at it
field
'cause
down
it
into
was
this
an
building
old man
where
and he looked
paid
funny.
cash for, because he was of above average initiative, not above average intelligence.
'Cause he was
As
dumb
you've
as a
been told
brick,
all day
everybody.
you saw on the
Let's
film.
get that straight.
The only one
Just
today brilliant,
alarmingly, concerningly dumb.
but he had above average desire. And Andrew
Desire?
Carnegie once said,
Is it like
"Show me
streetcar
an
named
average
Desire?
man with above average
Stellar!
And this is what this man's done. He also said, show me a man that can make a quick decision, act on that decision, and stick to that decision, and I'll show you
a man who can win the
Well, here's a
lottery
man
and be
here
poor
that
in
can
3
make an
months.
Yeah,
instantaneous
absolutely.
Decision on any matter that comes up. And I was at a staff meeting one time, and they diddled around about 40 seconds on some issue.
Then they called in the cat and the fiddle.
He found out what it was, and he said, okay, do this, that, and said, next
No, that's
issue.
exactly what he said. Nobody
You
knew
can't
what he
stand
meant.
to see people lollygog around.
Lollygogging?
You know what?
Like
He
Walter
believes this.
Goggins? Is that what he does on set?
Yes.
More is lost by indecision than by wrong decision. And he believes that all you got to do is be right
Dance.
51% of the
Oh.
time to succeed. And
Hey,
that's what
it's the
he's
same
done.
qualifications
The whole
for a
thing about it,
meteorologist.
about 99%
It
of
is.
his decisions have been correct. And this is why he's built a vast empire. And not only has he had that
And the
going
empire
on,
strikes
the man's
back.
got a heart bigger than he is. He's got a heart bigger
And a
than this
head
room
bigger than a
that's
melon.
sitting in here tonight. It's a true example of his followers. Talk to anybody in Turner Enterprises, and they'll tell you they love the man. He's got a magnetism about him because he's got love in his heart. And you'll see in Purpose 1,
Love, love,
or if it's one which happens to be
love.
purpose, and to say you got to get right on the inside first before you ever going to get right on the outside. Before you ever going to excel in your business or our business or any other business, you got to get right on the inside.
Then you got
And this man's
to
right.
get up on the downside and down
He's
on the
got
left
love in
side.
his heart.
Yep.
He's got compassion for his fellow man.
Sounds like he was
and that's
writing
why his
bad lyrics
personal
in the
purpose
70s.
life and the purpose of Dare to Be Great is to encircle the world with love, understanding, and unity. And this is the man behind it all.
And if you can do
This
this
is the
while
man
grifting
most
others,
wrote
well
about,
then by
most
all
read about,
means, you
most
should
talked
do it.
about man in America today and very soon the world. I want you to help me welcome this time the chairman of the board of all Turner Enterprises, Mr. Glenn W. Turner.
It's the dog pound. Oh, 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 oh.
Either that or they're filming Arsenio Hall next door.
Right.
How many here for,
Steve, we didn't mention that Glenn W. Turner has a lisp. We should probably mention that now.
A lisp?
A lisp.
A hair lip, you mean?
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. I just thought there was something wrong with the audio.
Right. No, it comes through in moments.
hello there.
Hello, darling.
Bobby Lee
Been
Brown.
a long time.
You and Conway Twitty,
Sorry,
Steve,
man, he was great.
all
One
the
of our
time.
Upmost growing company, Soundcott, which is a record recording company. We'll be producing movies later on. It's got a
He's
slogan,
gonna introduce
if it's
movies?
Hot, it's on
Yes.
Soundcott.
You know, I wonder if he was the language coach for Rat
Bobby
Race.
is,
Oh, yeah, the
country
brothers?
western
Yeah, I'm sure.
artist
I can see
by his
that.
own right.
I think I do.
1962, the Arkansas Twist, also the Mostest Girl, and both of them were 2 million sellers. He hails from Jonesboro, Arkansas. He's a young man that even before Dare to Be Great came
Who's he
along,
talking about?
Dare to Be Great. He also recorded a song which was written about me called I Dare America to Be Great. And
Okay,
you'll be
you
hearing
know,
a lot about
we're
different
not going to
songs
make
coming
fun
out
of his
on
lisp
label.
all the
You'll be
time.
hearing more about sound card.
We're not
This
mean.
is one of our many operations. We're looking for talent. But before you can get a man to do something in life,
You got to give him money.
Get his attitude right.
And speaking of that,
Let's
give me
talk
some
about
of that
attitude a
money.
minute. Attitude is a whole key. You're basically doing right now what you've been trained to do.
Sit in a
You
chair
could be
for an
making
hour.
$5,000 a month, just as easy as $5,000 a year, if you had a $5,000 a month attitude instead of a $5,000 a year attitude. Now let's look at what's happened to you all your life. What made you think the way you think now, and why you think you're only worth X number of dollars?
DNA.
Now keep in mind as I talk, Stephen, I'm not talking just about money. Success.
By the
is
way,
not
Steve, do you know what
necessarily
his law firm,
money.
who he's
Success is when
represented
you're
by?
happy
Who?
doing your
Dewey,
thing.
Cheatham, and Howe.
Yep.
Now, in your own business, if you had my outlook and my attitude, you could become the president of your own company.
Hey, I'm president of the Idiots
This is your
Club.
desire.
Wait, did he
Now,
say
in the
company or
you now work
company?
for, you could be
Umpany.
the foreman,
Oh,
you
yeah.
could be
What's
the
an
leader,
umpany?
you could be the
I don't
vice
know. Up
president,
yours,
you could
buddy.
pick Any position.
Be nice.
If you
Come on.
knew how to handle your boss, you could get to the top.
Handle your what?
80%
Your
of
boss?
it will quit your job because you don't know how to handle your boss. Or you don't know how to handle the people who work for you. 80% of you will lose your job and change, not because you're not qualified to come to the top.
Which is
of
why
the
there's a
company
lot
you
of
now work
unemployment
for,
right now.
But because your attitude cannot stand the pressures of day-to-day changes. Now, any jerk can run a machine. Because a machine
And I've
acts
worked with
just
some of
about
those
the
jerks.
same way. You can always get rid of it, replace it.
They're all
with
named Steve Martin,
but
by the way.
Mind is different. And you got to keep in mind that
Especially if they
people
make
change.
cans.
It depends
Yes.
on how his wife
More
is, it depends on
cans!
They're leaking.
It depends on how the man down the street where some jerk almost run over him. He may be a little bit mad about that and take it out on you. And when he takes it out on you, if you're not trained to handle this situation, it can hurt you. And therefore, it can throw your whole mind off and make you say things you wouldn't order to see. And the next thing you know,
Like
you're mad
frigga
about
fragga.
something and you're fired. Or
Watch
you're
your language, Steve.
And the main thing you got to learn
This is
is
a
how
family
to handle
podcast.
yourself, number one. How to handle people, number two. If you can learn those two things in life, that's about all you really need
So
to know.
tempting.
I know,
That's
I know.
hard to learn how to handle yourself. 'Cause we know
There will
we
be a
never do
moment for
anything
that,
wrong,
Steve,
don't
but
we?
that moment is not yet. You can tell us when that
Everybody
moment
else
is.
a jerk, ain't they? Now, if you sit out there for the next 20 or 30 minutes and figure out how a jerk like me with a hair lip made it, you
Hair
ain't gonna
lip,
learn nothing.
not a lisp.
Okay.
I made it. And that's all that's important. I made it because
There's a few
I
more
am
things
what
that are
you call
important too, besides just making
intelligently
it.
ignorant. I'm too stupid to figure out why it won't work. I've never been to the college.
He's
I've
a
never
smart
even been
moron.
to the 10th grade. I stopped
Is that like outside the box thinking because you don't even know that a box exists?
Right.
Know how to use a slide
That's
rule,
what?
and every
That's
time
not
somebody
brilliant.
tells me
No,
something,
it
I don't
isn't.
sit down and put it on the slide rule and figure out why it won't work. Every time I see somebody doing it, I say,
I
you
put
know,
it on the
that
slip
guy
and
can do it.
slide.
Maybe I can do it. And I immediately figure out the only
Go down
difference is
holding
him and
2
I
cans,
know
one on
something
each
I don't
hand.
know. That's the only reason one man's making it and you're not, or a lady, is because of the way they're thinking about themselves.
I think there's more to it than that.
You're 65 years old in a measly job, and you could be running the company you're working for or way up in the company. And you work all the time, and you wonder why. You wait for that gold watch.
I'm gripping the table,
Glenn
Brian.
Turner has
I
a
know,
gold watch,
I
and
know.
I'm 36 years old. And you know what it says? To the greatest guy in the world, from Glenn Turner, the greatest guy in the world.
They're clapping because he's lonely. He has to buy gifts for himself.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, I'm not conceited, I'm convinced. There is a difference.
I don't think
If
you-
was
I don't think you
conceited,
know
I
what that
wouldn't
word
be out here
means.
talking to you this
I don't know if it means what
I'd
you
be
think
sitting
it
means,
means.
in
yeah,
the
sorry,
chair on
that's
Ward
wrong
Street,
quote
what
there.
I'm
Yeah.
supposed to do. I'm told I'm supposed to be sitting in the Bahamas on a yacht letting somebody else run my business. But I
Funny
don't
thing,
believe
he
in
says
that.
that exact same
I
line to women in
believe
bars.
if I hadn't have been inspired to change my way of thinking, I'd have been peddling sewing machines door to door at this very moment, waiting on my fourth or fifth
Pedal
Cadillac to be
sewing
repossessed.
machines, you pedal
In
bicycles.
5 years' time.
There's a
in
pedal on the
10
bottom
years'
of the
time,
sewing
I
machine.
had 3
Right,
Cadillacs
one.
repossessed. I always went down in style, boy. I don't mess around with nothing second class. I never can figure how a guy buy a little old boat wagon and squeak in it and
Squeech?
economize
Squeech.
and drive down the road.
Is that like
and
reach
somebody
and
hits him
squeeze?
it looked like a matchbox folded up.
Maybe it was a Southern
When he could put the
colloquialism.
same
Maybe.
amount of energy in figuring out how to make a better person out of himself and learning how to get along with people, and he can afford a Cadillac. Most of you will spend more time planning a 2-week vacation you will than planning your lives. You ever thought about it?
Nope.
How many of you
No,
have ever sat
that's-
down
I don't think that's
and
true, Steve.
outlined what I'm going to have next year, what I'm going to have the next year, and the next year, and the next year,
What's
and
an
the next
ape
year,
year?
and 20 years from now where I'm going to be? Most of you accept the fact that you ain't going to be much better off here right now.
It's like a year you want to throw poop at.
2020
2020 was an ape year for a lot of
people. Yes.
$100. You depend on Social Security, welfare, unemployment to take care of you.
That's my plan.
This is the way most of us
That's a
lives
lot
is.
of people's plan.
Because we know that we can take a 2-week vacation. Everybody does it. But everybody can't be a
Oh,
millionaire.
if everybody jumped off a
And
bridge, would
everybody
you,
can't be
Glenn
a
W.
success,
Turner?
And everybody can't be happy. In fact, the most of it will never amount to anything. We know it, and we accept it because we've been taught this by our friends and neighbors. Our friends and neighbors don't know any better. They've been taught this also.
Maybe we should get better
Because ever
friends.
since they were 4 and 5 years old, their computer has been programmed by other
Uh-oh, he's getting
people
techie.
in the same class as they are.
The
We've
computer?
been programmed by people making $5,000 and $10,000 a year, and we've been told that we can't do it. It's a lie. That's the biggest lie you've ever been told. Most of you will go to your grave
Is he
with the
talking about
sweetest music
computers
still
or
in play.
AI learning?
And you'll
I'm
always
not
say,
sure.
"I
Maybe
got
he
a
was just
bad
way
knee.
ahead.
I got a bad back. I'm too fat. I'm skinny. I'm black. I'm blue. I'm green."
I'm
Well,
white, and I don't
all
have
that
enough
reason.
privilege.
There's only one color in any of my corporations. That's not black power. That's not blue power or yellow power or white power. It's green power.
Kermit. He's talking about Kermit.
Kermit, yeah. Kermit's car.
It's my power, everyone.
We know that our system works because any time you can have a black man to go into George Wallace country and the people beg for him to come
George
back
Wallace,
again,
the famous black comedian?
No,
and they said,
I
"You
think it's
send
the
him
other
down
George
here, buddy,
Wallace.
We're gonna get out."
Oh,
He
the
went down first and showed
racist.
up the
Yes.
next week.
Oh,
It
that
was
makes more sense now.
Because they started listening to
Okay.
his heart instead of who he was or what color he was or where he was cross-eyed or hair lip. They started listening to man's words. And you turn around and you criticize people that's making it.
And then the man
I
came
have
around,
never in my
and
life
Johnny
seen a
Cash
statue
made a
erected
song
to
about
critic.
it.
But the people they criticize, many statues have grown up. We need more people with foresight.
People.
We need more vision.
People
We need
need
more love in our heart for one
people.
another. And we say, well, that's corny, that's a bunch of junk. It works for me. I'm concerned about people. I have more confidence in people they have in themselves because no matter where you're sitting tonight, listen to me. In the
He's
sound
more
of my voice,
what?
I believe in you even though
Competent,
I've never met
confident?
you. And I probably will never
It's hard
see
to
a
tell.
lot of you.
I know.
I believe in you because you're
You have
created
money,
by God
and you will soon
Almighty.
give it to me.
You're created to have
And I
dominion
will
over
buy
the
more
face of the
buildings.
earth. You're a leader. You're born to be a leader above all creatures.
Everyone
You're
will
not
lead
doing anything
everyone.
with
It's a
You're
perfect
criticizing
system.
someone else, and you're criticizing the work of God.
We're all in first place.
You're going to bust hell wide open if you continue
This
to
is
do it.
definitely not a scam or
Simple as
chaos.
that. I never criticize people. I never make fun of people.
I just call them jerks.
But I like for people to make fun of me. I like for them to criticize me.
Oh, I'm
I
waiting to
especially
do
like
that.
for them to say it won't work.
Well, I think he's a
Because if you're
sadomasochist.
sitting around figuring out how it won't work, you're liable to be passed by a guy making it work.
I derive a special kind of pleasure from
Happens
that.
every time. It can be done. Some jerk on the corner.
See, there goes the jerks again.
Is going to make it work where you couldn't. Why? Well, he's no smarter than you. He thinks he is. Is that crazy?
No, I'm
More
convinced there are
education
some
you
people
get,
smarter than me in this
the more
world.
you think somebody owes you something for
Thank
nothing.
God.
Because you work
Right.
too hard to get an education. If you took your education, if you got a college degree, and you put it with my outlook and my attitude on life,
If I was
you
my
could
boss, Steve, I
do
would
and
quit
earn
immediately.
any
Yes.
types of money. You wouldn't have to have any guarantee, because a guarantee is a ceiling on your head. A guarantee will never let you reach your potential. You were
What?
born to be great. Greatness is what you can become. But you have to associate with daily, not monthly, not weekly, not
Associate with
yearly.
David?
With
Who's
people
David?
that are great.
David's
People
the
that
guy
think
in the
great.
lobby
People
who's
that think
selling
they're
The
greater than they
tickets.
are.
Yeah.
Because we generally become what we think about if we stick to our plan. And you have to outlay a plan
Stick to
for
the
life.
plan.
You go to church regularly, you become a good Christian. You get the slacking off, you get the backsliding. And this is what happens to people. You go to the National Guard once a month, you're trained to believe the National Guard's okay. And
If you're in a European bathroom, European.
And the people that's in the Army, they act like soldiers because they are soldiers. If you'd have been born in Russia, right now you'd be thinking like a communist.
Wait, what?
I'm thinking
You are
like a...
today what you think you are. And
think
the
he said
reason you're
hominy.
thinking the way you're thinking right now is because of your past environment. Most of you that's listening to me right in this moment
Okay.
are not thinking with your brain.
What?
Your brain is about
What
the
am I-
size of
what
a
am I
pinhead.
thinking with?
You lost it many years ago. It's back behind your left ear somewhere, under a bone that medical scientists don't have a name for. So
Don't think
therefore
with
you
your
know how to
brain.
find
Just
it.
do what I tell you.
Yep.
And you know what's happened to your brain, the mash part of it?
The
It's been
mash
taken
part?
over by
Is
friends
he
and
making
loved ones
whiskey?
and relatives who mean well.
You need to
who
have at least
simply have lost their
51%
brain
rye,
also that other people take over, and they'll
49%
pass on the
corn,
same information.
aged in a level 3
It'll never
char
work.
barrel
Fudge in it.
for a
Can't
minimum
happen to
of
me.
48
Can't happen to
months.
you. It's a lie, but that's what we've been taught. Your brain is used for one thing. I wish. I want to.
What?
Lord, I'd like to believe.
Huh?
That's all it
Is he
ever
crying?
Because that's all the power it controls is wishing and wanting and praying. And faith
That's a
without works
terrible-
is dead.
That's a terrible song.
I know.
Wishing and wanting and praying.
It says if you're doing the others, as you'd have them doing to you. Flint Turner tried to be a success for
Okay,
10 years.
quick question. Did
Door-to-door
Sylvester the
sales
Cat have a
failed
hair
over and
lip?
over again. I
Or was
failed
that a lisp?
because
That was a
interested
lisp.
in making Glenn Turner a new
Okay.
Cadillac. I was interested in getting Glenn Turner a new home and new furniture. When I started teaching other people how to become a success, they in turn traded with me and bought my product, and the masses just started.
What about
flocking
Foghorn
to me,
Leghorn?
and
What
they
did he
pushed me
have?
up to millions
He was
and
just from the
millions and
South.
Millions of dollars.
Okay.
It's as simple as that. As long as you're self-centered and interested only in yourself, you'll never reach your greatest potential. Because no one man in this room, or no one man on the sound of my voice or lady,
I'm gripping the table even
can
harder,
ever
Brian.
do anything
trying to
great
be
on his
good.
own. Glenn
Well,
Turner did not build
You do
Turner
have a timer
Enterprises
over there. At
or
some
Jerry
point,
B.
you can
Great
hit it, and we'll,
Yes.
like what we talked about this, you're allowed to
Okay.
demean for 15 seconds.
Yes. Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Built people.
Ooh, ay, ooh, one beam, All right, time's
They
up.
had in 'em. 'Cause people are wonderful. People are great.
Uh,
People are important.
I feel better.
People are the only thing that comes first. I love people. I'm concerned
I
about
love
people.
the money that the people bring.
And I win
That's
most
more
people over to
specific.
my side and my way of thinking. Only those that have been brainwashed by society
Or by me.
so hard
No, those are the
they
good
won't
ones.
bother to look a little longer is the ones we lose. We don't get many crooks in our business because they sit out there with that crooked programmer that's been put in their mind, and they figure out what the angle is, and they say, it sounds like a con man to me.
Uh-huh.
He's not a saint, he's a con man. I am definitely not a saint, and I'm in no hurry to
He's a
become
con
one.
man.
Yeah, if
I am
it's
a
a binary choice, it makes it easy.
Yes.
Kind of like the little boy that was in school.
Yeah,
The teacher
Glenn
said,
Turner
"How
didn't
many
build
of you
Turner
would like to go to
Enterprises.
heaven?"
Scams
Everybody
did.
but little Johnny raised his hand.
No, it's
Little
Dirty
don't you
Johnny.
go to-
The
want to go to
it's
heaven?
not Little
He said, "Yes,
Johnny.
sir,"
I
but
know.
I thought you was making up a load right now.
This guy.
The guy is not much of a comedian.
No, he's not. He cannot deliver a joke. All right, so like we sort of hinted and alluded to the fact that Glenn W. Turner may not be as quite on the level and philanthropic as he is presenting himself.
Correct.
Yeah. So I wanted to start just first with just a couple of snippets from the back of the record. This is my favorite one. Overcoming a severe speech impediment caused by a hair lip. He's become one of the leading motivational speakers in the world, starting with a borrowed $5,000 and a determination to overcome his handicap. He parlayed his 3 lemons, lack of education, a hair lip, and poverty, into lemonade. That lemonade being a multi-million-dollar business empire.
Yeah. You might not be familiar with his name, but I'm sure you're very familiar with multi-level marketing.
Yes.
Or pyramid schemes.
Yes, created
He,
most.
he was the king of that.
Yes, created most famously by Charles Ponzi, but those schemes existed long before.
Way before him. Yes.
Yes. The difference was, interestingly, Charles Ponzi used the miracle of modern technology in the 1920s in order to greatly amplify. And there's a certain type of criminal that this appeals to. There's the thin veil of altruism here.
Yeah.
And that's very common in these schemes. I can teach you how to be rich. I can teach you how to be popular. I can teach you how to be more attractive. We know on some level what we're being told is untrue.
Right.
But we want it to be true.
Right. Right.
And so, as Mythbusters so famously said, I reject your reality and substitute my own.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So, yeah, but Glenn Turner, at the end of this, Steve, he was found guilty in 1987 and was convicted on charges of conspiracy, fraud, and operating a pyramid scheme.
Yes.
And spent 7 years in prison.
Yep. So, which makes, listening to this record makes me want to make fun of him, even though he can't talk right.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, I'm wrong. But I think, because he deserves it, because he was a scammer.
Well,
he took money from people.
He weaponized his disability.
Yeah.
And he
feel sorry for me. Look at all the things that I've overcome.
Yes. And because I overcame this, you can
overcome your thing.
Which, on one hand, sure.
Right.
But it always involved giving him money to do this.
Right.
And that's the part that's not great.
Right. It's not so great. Yeah.
Yep. And one last quick little note here, Steve. I just wanted to mention on the back of the record, the introduction notes were written by Wayne Hopper, and the liner notes were written by Dick Mailman.
Enough said.
There is no joke. It literally.
Yeah. He's.
We can take
I'm looking at it. Yeah. I'll post that picture on Facebook page and stuff. Yeah. It's literally on the album. So.
Yep. Okay.
So thank you guys. We're looking forward to a great 2024. We have some records. If you saw on our Facebook, we did a short little video of some of the records that we're looking at for this year.
There's some good ones in there.
Yeah, there are. There's some good ones we have for this year, and I'm excited for some other things that are coming up this year with our podcast. So, again,
I'm excited when we do our live show at Wembley Stadium.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, yeah, we're supposed to be touring all over my house
and the public library. I have to go.
You can reach us on Facebook, depending on the app that you're listening through, Spotify or whatever. I know there's places where you can leave a comment. We, enjoy those. You can also contact us at vinylwar22@gmail.com.
Yeah, and one last thing. If you think you can write better jokes, one, you probably can, and two, tell us. Tell us what those jokes are.
Absolutely.
And if they're funny and they're good, we'll give you shine. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll absolutely give you credit. So, yeah, send those in to vinylwar22@gmail.
Yep. And so this is a good start, Steve. Looking forward to doing more.
Yep.
And as always, Steve, not every record should be collected.